news when it comes to the courts and the Supreme Court's role. It has to do with that recent decision regarding birthright citizenship. A federal judge just barred President Trump from enforcing his executive order, which limits birthright citizenship nationwide. Now, this is despite just the days-old Supreme Court ruling that restricted the ability of judges to block the president's policies.
Judge Andrew Napolitano again here with us for the breaking news. So this just coming in, I would say maybe 15 minutes ago, we're just learning about this, that a judge is blocking Trump's birthright citizenship order. A district judge, again, despite the Supreme Court ruling, again, on birthright citizenship and universal injunctions. What are we to take away from this, and can you make sense of it for us?
There's a couple of exceptions to the Supreme Court's birthright citizenship ruling. The essence of that ruling is that a judge can only rule, he could enjoin the president, but only with respect to the litigants who are in his courtroom in front of him, not with respect to all other potential litigants who might be before other judges in the country. Exception when there's a class action. What is a class action? That means that the litigants before the judge are suing not only in behalf of themselves, but in behalf of all other persons similarly situated. There are a number of hoops over which the judge must jump and the litigants must jump before they can be certified as a class. But apparently Judge LaPlante, a federal judge in New Hampshire, this morning in a case that did not come to our attention until he ruled on it, certified these litigants as a class. There he is. I do not know him or know of him. Maybe producers can tell us who appointed him. I don't know. Nevertheless, unless this is disturbed by the First Circuit Court of Appeals sitting in Boston, this ruling will enjoin the enforcement of the president's order until the class action issue is resolved, which could take the remainder of President Trump's term. That's how long these class action cases take, because you have to advertise. You want to join the class. Do you want to join the class? You're in San Diego, you're in Denver, you're in Miami, you're in Newark. Here's how you can join the class in New Hampshire.
And that would be basically anyone whose parents were here illegally, but they were born on U.S. soil.
Or it would be a pregnant mom about to give birth who is here illegally and who fears the separation of herself, because she's deportable, from her child.
Let me ask you about this because I'm reading through it too. Again, that's breaking news just coming in, and it's a surprise to some, obviously, but again, another pushback, setback by a federal judge. But overall, and again, first reported by Reuters, that this judge that we are speaking about, LaPlante, is allowing time for the Trump administration to appeal. Which they likely will. And I'll tell you why, or at least it appears why, is that, to your point, the DOJ, the Justice Department, has argued that you cannot sue as a class in this. And it says this: ask LaPlante to find that the plaintiffs cannot sue as a class in this.
What they mean is that the plaintiffs are not the appropriate representatives of the class, which is an issue. Because for a class action, which means if you're in Denver or San Diego or Newark, using my hypothetical, you have to sue in New Hampshire. Therefore, the representatives of the class have to be appropriate representatives. It is appropriate for a class action because the Supreme Court has said so in its opinion last month. The question is this an appropriate class action? Are these the appropriate representatives of the class?
So still judges are finding a way, even now, after the Supreme Court ruling. And I get it wasn't fully, right, it didn't fully address the birthright citizenship. Correct. But they're still finding ways around.
Like we saw with the Planned Parenthood funding.
Correct. Well, the Planned Parenthood one is a head scratcher, and contrary to my prediction, she hasn't been reversed yet. She still hasn't issued an opinion on it, as far as I know. However, the entire issue of birthright citizenship might become moot because in October it will be argued. Can the president enforce his own interpretation of the 14th Amendment? By December, the court, presumably, I hope they don't punt on this, will say yes or no. Whichever way they go, it will ultimately resolve this class action case.